Well, I have to say it. Not bad for somebody who got a D in painting. I do have to thank people. President Diane Harrison, Distinguished Alumni Board President Francine O'Sheen, distinguished faculty, fellow honorees, friends, family, my co-workers. I'm deeply honored to receive this award tonight from my alma mater. I want to particularly thank my mother, Hortensia, who's here, 91 years old. Particularly because of her belief in education. It was easy to cast aside a young girl in my time and think that she didn't need to be educated. After all, she was only going to get married, right? And to my sister Diane, who's also here, and the other members of my family who've come out tonight to join me and who've always given me tremendous amount of support in what sometimes seemed like crazy endeavors. And to my compañeros who worked with me in the sun, who struggled to paint the work, to do the long, hard diligence in the creation of these monuments, thank you for being here with me as well. I'm particularly thankful to the California State University at Northridge because they provided me with an affordable education, as I was one of those students who had to work my way through the university. And it was a time when there was no affirmative action. There were few scholarships to students like myself. And I'm particularly grateful to a few professors who aren't even in this world at the moment. But I'm going to make a shout out to them on the other side. To Professor Hans Burkhardt, the great abstract expressionist, who taught me to make a line that created the weight of a figure and created dynamism in my drawings. Thank you. I still hear your voice every time I draw a figure. It's important to remember them because I'm in the business of memory. I need to thank Dr. Cesar, who's also not with us, because Dr. Cesar called me back when he saw my work on the Great Wall. He said, "You should come back and get a master's degree." I said, "I don't need that. I'm busy." And he said, "No, come back, because this is a thesis. And the work you're doing with the young people matters." So thank you, Dr. Cesar. I'm a distinguished professor at UCLA because of you. In 1974, I entered a new campus, a new CSUN, and traveled from my home in Pacoima to Northridge. Though it was a short distance, it was a sojourn across the valley. A sea of separation defined by race and class existed between Pacoima and Northridge, a Mason-Dixon line, in a sense, in the San Fernando Valley. Those lines over the years have blurred, and CSUN has become the diverse university we all prayed for. So I congratulate CSUN for becoming increasingly a university that is inclusive. When I left the university in 1969, revolutions were afoot everywhere in America. None greater than the revolution of thought, which said change is possible, question authority, and never trust the status quo. Personal freedom and self-actualization above all else. But this is a different time. This is the time which demands we join the rest of the world. It begs us to become citizens of it, to use our problem-solving capacities and, as artists, our imaginations to make real as a power for the purpose of redesigning that which affirms our humanity. Balance is the point. A balance of humans and the planet, the self and other, our species and other species, women and men, adults and children. I'm going to leave you with this metaphor. Long ago, when I was a student at CSUN and struggled to make meaning of what I learned, I went to the river as my ancestors did. My great-grandfather moved back and forth across the border like a migratory bird before there was a line to determine which side you were from. But the river had turned to concrete. I watched as a child as the LA River became concreted. Like the veins of the land, it had hardened with dis-ease. It had been conquered to control its overflow to protect real estate. There was a scar when the river once ran. And once, on a young man's stomach in a Los Angeles barrio, I saw a terrible scar left by gang warfare. He tattooed it with warrior markings in an effort to transform the ugly marks into something powerful and beautiful. For 15 years, I worked to cover the scar where the river once ran here in the San Fernando Valley with the images that would remember the disremembered history. 400 young people worked on this recovery of their histories, practicing a connection to each other across racial, class, and gender differences. Lifelong connections were made there between us all. I was a participant as well as an artist initiator. The vehicle for this was art. The result, the longest mural in the world, called the Great Wall of Los Angeles, minutes from the campus where I was educated. It's a monument to racial harmony. CSUN helped me with this work by what it taught me, and in some ways, by some of the things that I had to learn on my own. I was brought to the realization that I must find my own story and tell it, and teach others to hear it, and help others tell theirs. The Great Wall of Los Angeles is not finished. I'm not done yet. We are not done yet. It ends in the 1950s, and we still have the histories of the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s to tell. We have another generation to teach, like my mentee, Carlos Rogel, who's here tonight, so that they can continue writing the inclusive American story and see themselves reflected in a site of public memory. The organization I founded, which will be celebrating 40 years this year, the Social and Public Art Resource Center, is beginning another campaign for the Great Wall of LA so we can make another half a mile of mural. So at this moment, I firmly believe it is important for the arts to take their rightful place again as one of the most significant of all human endeavors, because if we cannot imagine change, it cannot occur, because the space between imagining and making real is sometimes very small. Thank you.